Henderson Report, Part 1, available on the website, has nailed the truth on its head. I have no doubts in my mind. I had been an ardent reader of Neville Maxwell's India-China war, and whatever he has said in that book is real. Perhaps he was given an insight into Henderson Brooks Report because the operational details he has now, that have been made transparent now, cannot be gained without access to Henderson Brooks Report. Maxwell had said Operation Legon. What was Operational Legon? The forward posture adopted by the Indian Army in NIFA with 42 platoon-sized posts to be established on the McMahon line. Maxwell in his book talks about it. In July 1962, the forward posture adoption. So, Henderson Brooks Report also covers that. And more importantly, Henderson Brooks also covers the tactical aspects at great length in that part 1 of the report. The dichotomy between the Army headquarters, the Eastern Command headquarters, and the Corps headquarters, and the divisional headquarters, and the foxpaws done at the tactical level, at brigade majors level, at battalion commanders level, at brigade level, at divisional level, are all there in that report, clearly given. That constitutes a military debacle. Primarily, I call it due to General B.M. Cowell's incompetence. I would not hesitate to highlight that it was sheer military incompetence of the Corps commander. In fact, in the midst of the battle, he went back to Delhi feigning illness. How can a Corps commander feign illness and then get back again to the battlefield and give orders, countermanding the other orders? Naturally, there is profound crisis in command or confusion in the battlefield. So, all that has been covered in Henderson Brooks Report. Let me also highlight yet another significant point. Troops were unprepared. They did not have, I did not have the snow clothing that was required for me to fight a battle. I had to carry 4 blankets which are used to cover the mules to ward off the winter, severe winter. November is severe winter and rains in Michoacan. We had no boots other than snow boots. We had only boot ankle. Nobody has mentioned we had wireless Z62 whose batteries could not be charged without a generator. So all the batteries were defunct after 24 hours. We were cut off from our higher headquarters on radio sets. Let me also highlight that when we did not have the batteries, I had to tell my radio operator, dump the thing into the water. We were without communications, withdrawing. So where was command? I recall distinctly in my brigade sector, my brigade headquarters went off the air on 18th November. The last communication we had from the brigade headquarters was, you withdraw, depending on the situation. That's no order for fighting a battle. Ammunition, weapons. We had the 1890s Boer War rifle called the .303 rifle, bolt action rifle. We had a light machine gun. And we had the mortars and the 3-inch mortars and the 4.2-inch heavy mortars. And we had no maps which are required for directing the fire. So we were totally unprepared. Michuka was a air dropping zone maintenance garrison at that point of time. Of course, we had adequate supplies, rations, but they were all stored in the barracks down below, not on the defensive positions. So when we withdrew from the positions, we could not get to the stores, collect our 7 days pack and move back because the base was already in the hands of the Chinese. So we had to withdraw based on whatever little rations, 1 day's ration we had with us, and en route we had to eat whatever weeds we could lay our hands. With the help of the locals, they used to give some weeds and we used to eat and carry on with our withdrawal. So one can say, in retrospect, we were totally unprepared for the type of defensive battle or the withdrawal battle that followed later, and consequently all the units and formations were disconnected with each other, and we had to stop the stragglers and rally them. Just after almost about good 70 miles, we had to rally them as a cohesive force to be deployed as screens. So we were totally underprepared and unprepared. But now the situation in Tawang, Sela, Bomdila sectors is good. However, the same cannot be said about the rest of Arunachal Pradesh, because the infrastructure development to support large-scale deployment of forces matching the Chinese offensive capability does not exist even today, for which Mr. A.K. Antony and Manmohan Singh are squarely responsible and accountable. I am afraid the window of opportunity to arrive at a peaceful settlement of the India-China border talks is now.